The kitchen, the front yard are open. What is that?
This is like the under the staircase closet, I think.
Hmm. I don't know the recap of what we did last time, so.
We just got done talking to the officer.
Okay, so open the under the doo doo.
Staircase.
The under the staircase thing. The Harry Potter closet.
The dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the freshly sharpened axe. And Oila can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Babai is living there. Tried to help her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp. She would see there nothing in the cobwebs, but cobwebs, dad's tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in the closet and listen to Oila count outside. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Better hide from me.
1, 2.
And then drag her feet on the creaky floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. Okay.
Okay, to the kitchen, I guess. Ooh. It was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to run away from home. What?
Mom, something's wrong with the TV. The picture is dim and there are stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted.
Ah, you're killing me here. So you've had enough of shooting those stupid ducks now. Told you the kind of scope will go dim because of your console. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh?
Maybe it's just the settings. Please go see for yourself.
Strange, it worked fine this morning.
Maybe the snowfall caused it. Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Olive's room. Grandma kept ice cream in there for me earlier, but now I can only see meat bits for soup and clumped together pelmeni. I do hate them already. There's a lot of medicine I see.
Yeah, a lot of medicine. Turn back. Turn back.
Oh. This process seen so many people come and go in this house. It was black as it absorbed all human sin from the long years it was hanging under the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as a lucky charm. She cut herself with the cross sharp corners and almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left alone in its rightful place.
And the top was another thing.
Mom's peg top? A family relic. Mom played with it when she was little, then she gifted it to me. Ola was next in the succession line. The toy belongs to her now. I am the captain now. She stared at the dancing spindle as if it could show her something, a fairy tale, or maybe even our future. Now even my little sister was a bit too old for the old squeaky pig top.
Front yard, I guess.
Oh, anything in here that I can do? Oh. Aha. Why was this not shown in some sort of tutorial?
I don't know.
The decrepit and stain-covered calendar was once my favorite form of entertainment in Grandma's house. I remember waking up and running to the kitchen so I could tear off yesterday's leaf first thing in the morning, as if the coming day would get lost in the taiga forest without my help. One day closer to New Year's, one day closer to Grandma's funeral. I haven't touched this calendar for years now. Since the time they started writing dark and spooky death chants that only made me gloomy instead of funny proverbs and superstitions to be exact. I grabbed a dusty calendar leaf with caution and tore it off effortlessly. Sadly, the spooky descriptions from my childhood were still there. 7 horses carry the log. 7 can't carry, bring the 8th from a fairy. They will take it away and never come back. This is the fate the log cannot escape. Nice! I crumpled the gray leaf and threw it into the waste bin, hoping to get rid of the anxiousness that washed over me. It was spreading inside me like an ink stain on bottling paper. Aircom of Russia has declared the state of emergency due to adverse weather conditions. According to the weather forecast, a cyclone is moving towards the region. Expect heavy snowfall, blizzards, and snowdrifts on the road. Keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. I took a peek at my mom's crossword. She would get very angry when someone gave her advice, so me and Dad faked knowing the answer and being about to reveal it all the time. I smiled at the fleeting thought. Vertical, 9 letters. The name of the Philistine deity that protected them from vipers' bites and had a nickname, the Lord of Flies. Second letter's E. Okay, I don't have access to the thing there. The only thing I could think of is Beelzebub. I opened the front gate and went into the field, carefully so Mom wouldn't see me from under the window. When I crossed half the distance towards the forest, the snow piles became so high as my knees. I remember my nightly fears. I saw the silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. The hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there, distant, ringing in my ears. Distorted shadows, crawling on the snow alongside me. And a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent, I felt like the world was completely empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Olia. Time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended at the forest Penny Stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. My parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Arthur turned to stone, listening to them. But then always came the rain silence. Out's apartment became numb a cold days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing, or spent time together, almost as though all of it was in a previous life. When they kissed with all the presents, she and his friends snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke up, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes who sometimes visited us in our previous home, the eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything. And somewhere far away, a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. I shuddered, crossing away my delusions, and looked around. There was only me, this white field, and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It was especially dark in contrast with the binding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles froze in the ice. Dry, prickling branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. It's a glove. Are they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some others was hanging on one of the pointy branches. I tried getting closer, drowning in the snow. When I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? Their senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Street of Brooklyn's Lights. He was also always anxious and a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help him find the lost boy? Vova! I heard a distant shout. It looked like it came from the river. Vova! As if the trees were calling out to someone. Vova! Responding closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Vova! I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about that figure. Its stillness, head was bent unnaturally towards the ground. Its blackness. There was no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. My bird flapped its wings loudly. The shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but then I turned my gaze back to the same place. It was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. My muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more.
Do you take it to the police or run away? The right thing to do would be to take it to the police. But you're scared little boy. So do you take it or do you run away?
You got 5 seconds, Abby. 1, 2, 3,
Run away.
4. Okay. Lumps of snow fell from the branch that reminded me of the sound soil makes when you throw it into a pit on top of the casket. I immediately felt dizzy as I was balancing at a precise. I slid back away from my finding. I felt like the moment I touched it, a trap would spring, and the mouse would get caught. Someone stepped on the ice behind me, close by. My inner voice whispered, "Save yourself. Run." My nerves got the better of me. I ran, burning my head into my shoulders. Someone was chasing me through the darkness, looking behind the branches, closely movements with a giant leaves. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. There was one more voice, probably one of the reasons it gave me strength, spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard a behind me. It felt like the sound had become from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. 2 giant wings came out above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing. A hoot, a wheeze. The roar from the wind in all directions. The dragon crashed over the bush. From under the windfall. Hurry, run, don't look back. I felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became vicious like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg through a mushy trap just to get caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. Pressure on my legs was gone, my boots slipped out of the hole, and my soles were on a hard surface again. I reached the clear path with one jump from there and ran into my house. This gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. The house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and the creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I didn't notice these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears were much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in our front yard and we had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and it obediently gave way. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Torch flames creaked as my pursuers descended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was that was probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing breath reached to the edge of the house and crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad.
What exactly didn't you understand when I told you never to slam the door?
I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone, and the breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. Here, a mere 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it the last bit of strength I had left in my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression has changed immediately. The cold mass of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those squirrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with the snow.
Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you?
I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang out.
Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret?
There was someone chasing me, I thought. I started as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned towards me and sniffed my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant when she covered her mouth with her hand.
Look, over there, at the fence.
My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again. My pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I've heard something scratch at the door, just like in my nightmares. My mom beckoned me with her finger, and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look in the kitchen window, facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in the snow through the icy winter patterns on the glass. Oh, they're dogs.
They're wolves.
They're dogs. Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely remaining of the hungry monsters that lived on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me like a bunny. And what if they're rabid? The smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them.
What if they attack Oila?
Mom?
I wish your dad could just shoot them all.
Mom,
Mama,
look,
Dad.
they're alive.
Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore.
Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment.
Come here, my boy, cried Wolf. Don't just stand there. Come take your pills.
A golden-colored pill, reminiscent of a dead wasp, fell into my palm. I already took the one during breakfast.
Don't talk over me. Told you to stay home, and you... Dad would have given you a good whooping for that. Come on, take it, or you won't be able to sleep at night. And you have school tomorrow.
So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Ugh. Maybe it wasn't, well, I was missing Min. Maybe it wasn't a Min at all. Just like the forest monsters. And Ola's owl. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect or my overexertion brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawny indifference along with it.
Oh. Anton, you done? See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep?
No, Mom, I was just thinking.
About what, I wonder?
It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes. As she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the forest.
Is everything alright? You had that exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window.
I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh.
Fine.
It seems like the house has changed. The soft fabric had become discolored. The fingerprints appeared on the bottom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer, and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor, although I was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episode and switched to the other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before the sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. When I went upstairs, Jafar and Laga's voices died down. I walked past Ola's bedroom and slipped into my own. The simple action drained the last bit of strength from me. I sat on the bed, and only then I noticed there was someone behind my curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whether it was due to medication I took or stress I underwent, the room began to contort as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The corners of the room bent and undulated. The only stable thing in the whole room was the figure between the window sill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visor, just like a shroud. Hola? Who else would be standing there? I stood up and lit to my dry lips. Yeah, oh yeah, it's so funny. The silhouette was unmoving. I was enveloped softly by the curtains. as if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached toward the curtains. But my heart, I beat my heart, controlled by medication. The wind sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second, I wanted to return to the bed, just lie down and watch the person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking at me back. They were looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep.
Gotcha!
I knew it was you from the beginning. A blindly bright halo lit up from above Ola's head with a setting sun on the background. My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. I brought her to the window one day and sunlight poured on her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a light, woven child.
Why did the police come? Did you do something?
No, of course not.
It's because of the owl, isn't it?
I showed a worried smile and rubbed her head. A boy got lost in the woods.
Oh! He must be really cold out there. Will they find him?
They will. Police are going house to house showing his photo to everybody. Layla traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window.
And why are they going to the houses and not the forest? Are they scared?
The question caught me off guard. The police aren't scared of anything. They've already scouted the forest. I changed the topic. I was trying to get Ola as far away as possible from the forest thicket. We may get a reward if I go and find this boy by myself. A lot of stuff like in Field of Wonders. Sounds cool, right? Ola wasn't listening to me. She asked in a hushed voice while piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes uncharacteristic for her.
What if the owl got him?
Nonsense. An owl won't be able to lift a human. But you know what? I was picking my words with the utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain. Stay away from the forest. I think it's... how should I put it? It's cursed or something.
Just like the fairy tale?
No, more like that spooky tape our parents hid from us. Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, spooky tape. Oila shivered and slowly glanced at the window. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile. It was easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind and her small fire would be gone.
You're lucky. Mom won't even let me go outside. I'm like a princess in a tower. I can't go anywhere. I'll die from boredom here.
You're wrong. No one has ever died from boredom. And you have me and your cartoons, and Mom and Dad will be good to each other soon.
You know what I would wish for my next birthday? I wish for Mom and Dad to turn into children so we could go play together like we used to.
Yeah, if you make them as small as buds, we can place them in a little box. Oil giggled and tugged at my sleeve.
Tony, let's go watch Aladdin.
Fatigue won over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy. I'm too tired. I don't want to.
Come on. It's so boring alone. Mama's always busy. can pick a cartoon you haven't seen before.
I know all of our takes by heart at this point.
Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan. Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it? And so much happens after that. Let's go.
Maybe a little bit, a bit later.
Should I tell you how it ends?
Let's leave that for tomorrow.
I won't tell you tomorrow. I know. Let's play hide and seek.
No, Oyla.
Then draw me a dino.
Oyla, please.
Try it. Try it.
Will you leave me alone already? I blurted it out without thinking, and I was immediately taken back. I'd never screamed at my little sister like that. Oyla stared at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What happened to me? I hurried to prevent Oyla from crying. Alright, you win. Let's go watch cartoons for a bit.
I don't want it anymore.
I came up to her, put my hands on her soft head. Let's go. Let's go watch Peter Pan.
Boo! You'll fall asleep again.
I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bombless. I promise I won't. And I'll draw you a full Triceratops later.
Hurry!
It's hooray.
Oh, hooray!
Triceratops.
Triceratops.
No, it's
Triceratops.
Well, close enough. Oil rubbed her eyes with a sleeve on her pajamas, and a shining smile returned to her face.
I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread and rewind the tape. The bread is fresh, just how you like it.
Alright, just be careful not to spill the milk, or you'll be yelled at again.
I wanna bet I don't spill it. The tape is somewhere on the nightstand. Look for it.
Oil disappeared into the doorway and dragged my feet into the neighboring room.